guys, my name is Victoria Brown. I am a local real estate agent here with Keller Williams Coastal Area Partners in Savannah, Georgia. And today I kind of wanted to chat about how and why I got into real estate, kind of what that looked like for me in case you're curious and are looking to get in yourself. I wrote myself a timeline so I can stay on track because it's kind of an involved story. So stick with it, listen up, take notes, learn from my mistakes, and yeah, I'm excited to talk to you guys about this. The idea of getting into real estate kind of first was sparked interest in me after I had kind of gone through some personal stuff. So I went off to college in a different city, same state, and I just didn't need to be there anymore. I was going through some things personally and it was just best for me to come home. So I did to regroup and was working when my neighbor and also a good family friend of mine who's done very well in real estate kind of chatted with me a little bit and was like, listen, I think your personality would be great for this. I think you should really give it a try. So I went with her brokerage, Keller Williams, and took the in-person class, which if you haven't looked into that, it's like 2 nights a week, like 3 to 4 hours of just lecturing for a couple months. I think it's like 2 or 3 months. And I think I lasted maybe 3 weeks, a month. I don't do well sitting in lectures. It's not my personality or learning style. And I was just also in a really immature place in my life. So I didn't end up finishing the course and actually ended up going back to college in my hometown and ended up getting a public health degree. And the summer after I walked / kind of graduated, so like I graduated, but I still had, I think like a few classes left. So they let me walk and then I took those classes in the summer. So that summer I was looking for jobs kind of in the public health field, and it really wasn't paying what I wanted to kind of take care of the lifestyle that I wanted for myself. And the job selection was very small, and I knew most of the people I graduated with were in Savannah, Georgia, and were going to be wanting these jobs as well. So then I started looking into master's programs and came across the master's in epidemiology. That very much interested me, and I figure, hey, my neighbor, she talked about real estate. Maybe I should do real estate for a little while, make some money, and then I can go back and get my master's because I still was sitting on my debt from the first college I went to. So I didn't want to jump right back into paying tuition and adding and accumulating more debt. I was like, maybe I can help myself out a little bit. So we had a conversation and chatted about it. I also spoke with my aunt, who also has done phenomenally well in real estate, and kind of just had some discourse back and forth, and ended up taking an online course this time so I could still continue to work and take my classes, and that ended up being the best option for me. So if you're like me and you can't do well sitting in lecture style classroom setting, online might be for you. So I did the online Coldwell Banker class. I did the cheapest one possible. I mean, I don't think I got a textbook. I didn't get any practice tests. It was just the bare bones, and I somehow passed and did fine. When it came to the class test, aced with flying colors. Then I got down to the state test. Y'all, I literally walked in, sat down at the computer to take my test, and read the first question and was like, oh, shoot, I don't know this one. Okay, maybe it's just like a challenge question. So I hit next, and same thing, flipped through the first 3 or 4, and I had convinced myself that I had accidentally signed up for the broker test instead of the real estate agent license test. That was a rough time, but I passed. That's the most important thing, and I was an agent. So while I was taking my online test, I was also interviewing a bunch of different agencies, a bunch of different brokerages. And I got this advice actually from, the agents that I had been talking to. So I decided, I was like, I'm gonna interview everyone. And the fun thing with real estate that's different than like interviewing for a regular job, I don't know, not that real estate is not a regular job, but I guess like your average 9 to 5 interview that you would expect. You usually go in and they're interviewing you, right? They say that you can interview the interviewer a little bit. You might be able to ask a few questions like, hey, what's the pay? What are the benefits? And you might be able to factor that into your decision. But in real estate, it really is a lot more of interviewing from both sides. right? So for the most part, most agencies are kind of like, sure, like we'll take you if you want us kind of thing. But the culture relationship has to kind of be mutual, right? It's got to be almost symbiotic. Like they've got to offer you something and you've got to offer them something. So I had already decided before I passed my state that I was going to go Keller Williams. There was just, you couldn't beat the technology, the culture. I loved that like the top agents that I'd already been chatting with were like giving me the secrets and tips and tricks of the trade. I was like, what is this? You're telling me you're the way to get to the top. I mean, aren't you a little freaked out? Why are you telling me this kind of stuff? But I mean, it was great. It was admirable. That was definitely the kind of culture, the social, interactions that I wanted to have with my coworkers. So I felt like that was a place I could really grow and challenge myself. And so it was done. That day I took my pass sheet and brought it right to Keller Williams and was like, I'm ready to go, let's go. And I went in with every intention of just making quick money so I could go back to school. And here we are almost, 3 years later, and I'm still here. So I think it's an incredible, incredible field. There are so many people that will say, real estate's how the rich get richer kind of thing. So I think the pay-in and then what you can get out of it is almost unmatchable. It's a fantastic career. I've had a lot of fun with it. The first 2 years, I think my heart wasn't totally in it because in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, no, this is just a stepping stone. This is just to get me to my master's program, And now in year 3, I'm really kind of dialing in and kind of learning to really like the field as a career choice, for the rest of my life. All that being said, I think that was kind of an easy timeline. I really condensed everything. So if you have any other questions or you want to hear more about something else, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to share. I'm an open book about all of that stuff. But I know that people's life situations are really different and you might be thinking of getting in for your very own reasons. So if my sharing can help you make your decision, I figure why not? All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope this video was helpful and I will see you guys next week for another video.